When a man truly loves you, his love will be marked by sacrifice rather than self-interest. True love is never transactional. It does not seek personal gain, but willingly gives of itself for the good of the beloved. The man who loves in this way reflects a deeper understanding of love as an act of the will, a deliberate choice to place your needs and well-being above his own comfort, convenience, or desires. Sacrificial love is not a one-time gesture, but a consistent pattern of behavior. It is seen in the small, often unnoticed acts of consideration that weave together the fabric of a relationship. It is in the willingness to listen to your fears and frustrations, even when his day has been heavy. It is in the readiness to set aside his own plans when you need support. It is in the patience he shows when you are struggling and the strength he offers when you feel weak. These sacrifices may seem ordinary, but they reveal the extraordinary nature of true love, a love that values you above the fleeting desires of the self. This kind of love requires courage, because it calls him to look beyond his immediate wants and instead focus on the greater good of your relationship. It may mean surrendering his pride in moments of conflict, choosing to reconcile rather than win an argument. It may mean sacrificing time he would prefer to spend on personal pursuits so that he can be present with you in ways that matter. It may even mean taking on burdens that are not his own, because he sees your challenges as his to bear alongside you. These sacrifices are not signs of weakness, they are the marks of strength rooted in a love that is selfless and steadfast. When a man truly loves, his sacrifices are not begrudging but joyful. He does not give reluctantly or out of obligation, but because he delights in seeing you thrive. This joy comes from knowing that love is not diminished by giving, rather it grows. Every act of selflessness deepens his connection to you, reinforcing the bond that holds you together. In this way, sacrifice becomes a source of strength, not a drain on his resources, because it aligns his heart with the deeper purpose of love to serve, to uplift, and to cherish. Perhaps the most beautiful aspect of sacrificial love is that it reflects the divine. In loving you sacrificially, he mirrors the way God loves humanity freely, unconditionally, and with a willingness to bear the cost for the sake of the beloved. This kind of love transforms not only the relationship but also the man himself, shaping him into someone who is more patient, more generous, and more attuned to the needs of others. To be truly loved in this way is a profound gift, one that is not measured by grand declarations or fleeting emotions, but by the steady, enduring presence of someone who is willing to give of himself for your sake. A man who loves sacrificially is one who understands that love is not about what he can take, but about what he can give, and in giving, he finds the truest fulfillment of his own heart. When a man truly loves you, his love will manifest not only in the things he says, but also in the way he acts. Words and actions are two sides of the same coin, and together they reveal the depth of his commitment and the sincerity of his affection. To honor you through both is to align his speech with his behavior, creating a harmony that reflects genuine respect and care for you as a person. This honor is not fleeting or conditional, it is a constant thread that weaves through your relationship, reinforcing trust and cultivating a foundation of mutual respect. Words hold immense power. They can uplift or tear down, heal or wound, build bridges or create walls. A man who truly loves you understands this and chooses his words carefully. He speaks with kindness, even in moments of frustration. He communicates with honesty, even when the truth is difficult to share. His words are not meant to manipulate or control, but to encourage and support. When he praises you, it is not empty flattery, but an authentic recognition of your strengths and qualities. When he offers constructive feedback, it is not to criticize or belittle, but to help you grow and flourish. Yet, words alone are not enough. They must be backed by actions that demonstrate their truth. A man who honors you will ensure that his deeds align with his promises. If he tells you that he values you, he will show it through his behavior by prioritizing your needs, respecting your boundaries, and being dependable in both the small and significant moments of life. His love will not be confined to grand gestures, though those may have their place, but will be evident in the day-to-day choices he makes to care for you and your relationship. One of the most telling ways a man honors you is through his consistency. Love that is genuine does not waver with circumstances. It remains steadfast through the highs and lows. A man who truly honors you will not disappear when things become difficult or retreat when misunderstandings arise. Instead, he will stay, listen, and work through challenges alongside you. His actions will reflect a commitment to building something lasting rather than seeking temporary satisfaction or convenience. This honor extends to how he speaks about you when you are not present. A man who loves and respects you will not tolerate gossip or speak ill of you behind your back. Instead, he will protect your reputation and speak words of affirmation about you to others. He will celebrate your accomplishments and defend your character, ensuring that his respect for you is evident to everyone in his life. His actions will also reflect this loyalty. He will choose to align himself with people and environments that support and nurture your relationship rather than undermine it. A man who truly honors you will also take the time to understand your unique needs, desires, and values. He will not impose his own agenda or try to mold you into someone you are not. Instead, he will celebrate who you are, listening with attentiveness and seeking to understand your perspective. His actions will reflect this understanding, whether it's supporting your dreams, sharing in your interests, or simply being present when you need him most. He will show through his words and actions that he values you as an individual and cherishes the person you are. In honoring you, he also demonstrates humility. True love is not self-seeking, it seeks to serve. A man who loves you will put aside his own ego to uplift and encourage you. He will admit when he is wrong and seek reconciliation, rather than holding on to pride or resentment. His actions will reflect a willingness to grow and change for the sake of the relationship, showing that his love for you is more important than his need to always be right or in control. Perhaps most importantly, honoring you through words and actions is a reflection of his understanding of your worth. A man who truly loves you recognizes that you are created with dignity, value, and purpose. His words will affirm your worth, and his actions will protect it. He will never use his love as a tool for manipulation or coercion, but will instead seek to build you up and help you reach your full potential. His love will be a source of strength, not a burden, and his honor will create an environment in which you feel safe, cherished, and free to thrive. In the end, when a man honors you through both words and actions, he shows that his love is not a fleeting emotion, but a profound commitment. It is a love that seeks to nurture, protect, and uplift, reflecting not only his affection for you, but also his respect for the sacredness of your heart. This is the kind of love that lasts, the kind that grows deeper over time, and the kind that leaves no room for doubt about its authenticity. It is a love worth waiting for, a love worth cherishing, and a love that reflects the beauty of what it means to truly honor another person. When a man truly loves you, his love goes beyond the surface. He seeks to understand your heart, not just enjoy your presence. This kind of love requires more than attraction or affection. It requires intentionality, curiosity, and deep respect for who you are at your core. Understanding your heart means seeing you as a whole person, mind, soul, and spirit. A man who truly loves you will take the time to explore your dreams, values, and fears. He will ask questions not out of obligation, but out of genuine interest. What motivates you? What are your deepest joys? What are the wounds you carry? And what helps to heal them? These are the kinds of questions that drive his pursuit of understanding. This pursuit of understanding is not driven by selfishness. He does not seek to know your heart so he can control it or manipulate it to fit his desires. Instead, his intention is to honor you by meeting you where you are. He wants to understand your experiences, your perspectives, and your emotions, even if they differ from his own. In this way, his love becomes a reflection of humility an acknowledgement that your heart is a treasure worth exploring, and that doing so requires openness, patience, and effort. A man who seeks to understand your heart listens deeply. He is not quick to judge or offer solutions. He creates a space where you feel safe to express yourself. When you speak, he does not merely hear your words, but listens for the emotions and meanings behind them. He pays attention to the unspoken, your body language, your tone, and the pauses between sentences. This attentive listening is his way of saying, "You matter to me. What you feel and think is important, and I am here to understand." His listening is active, not passive, and it is motivated by love, not obligation. Understanding your heart also means recognizing and respecting your individuality. He does not impose his expectations or try to fit you into a mold of his own making. Instead, he celebrates the unique person you are. He acknowledges that your heart is shaped by your experiences, your beliefs, and your passions, and he honors these as integral parts of who you are. Even in moments of disagreement, he seeks to understand your perspective, valuing your thoughts and feelings as much as his own. This mutual respect strengthens the bond between you, creating a relationship built on trust and authenticity. Full understanding requires patience. A man who loves you will not rush to conclusions or grow frustrated when he cannot immediately grasp the depths of your heart. He understands that knowing you fully is a gradual process, one that unfolds over time through shared experiences, conversations, and moments of vulnerability. He values this process and does not take it for granted. Every new insight into your heart is a gift to him, and he treasures the opportunity to grow closer to you through it. This kind of love is also selfless. A man who seeks to understand your heart is not focused on what he can gain from the relationship, but on how he can better support and cherish you. His understanding enables him to anticipate your needs, offer comfort in times of difficulty, and celebrate your joys as if they were his own. He is not concerned with appearances or superficial gestures. His priority is the depth of connection he shares with you. His love becomes a source of strength and security, allowing you to be fully yourself without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. Ultimately, when a man seeks to understand your heart, he shows that his love is rooted in more than mere attraction. He is committed to knowing you deeply, not because he is obligated to, but because he desires to. His love is thoughtful and intentional, guided by the understanding that true intimacy is not built on the fleeting excitement of presence, but on the enduring beauty of connection. In seeking to understand your heart, he mirrors the divine love that cherishes not only the outward but the inward, not only the seen but the unseen. This is the kind of love that transcends the surface and ventures into the profound. It is a love that values who you are, not just what you provide. It is a love that listens, learns, and grows, not for its own sake, but for yours. And in this pursuit of understanding, he reveals the depth of his commitment and the sincerity of his heart. This is not just love, it is love in its truest, most enduring form. When a man truly loves you, he recognizes that his role in your life is not merely to bring you happiness or companionship, but also to protect the essence of who you are. He sees your soul, your innermost being, your spirit, your dreams, and your values as sacred. To him, it is a treasure of infinite worth, entrusted to his care with profound responsibility. This is not a task he takes lightly, but he understands that love is not about possession, but stewardship, not about control, but safeguarding. To guard your soul is to protect your emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. A man who loves you will be vigilant about the influences that affect you, whether they come from external sources or from within the relationship itself. He is aware that words can wound as easily as they can heal, and actions can build up or tear down. For this reason, he chooses his words and behaviors carefully, ensuring that they nurture rather than harm. His love is a safe haven, a place where you can rest, grow, and thrive without fear of being diminished or dismissed. Guarding your soul means respecting your boundaries. He does not push or pressure you into doing anything that goes against your convictions or values. Instead, he honors your autonomy and listens to your voice. He understands that trust is the cornerstone of any meaningful relationship, and that violating your boundaries undermines the trust. By respecting your limits, he shows that he values you not just for what you can offer, but for who you are as a person. He allows you to be yourself fully and freely, creating an environment where your soul can flourish. A man who guards your soul also acts as a protector against external harm. He is mindful of the people and situations that could negatively impact you and stands ready to shield you when necessary. This does not mean that he seeks to control or isolate you. Rather, he becomes a partner who watches over you with care and discernment. He is willing to confront challenges or threats to your well-being, whether they come in the form of toxic relationships, harmful influences, or life's inevitable trials. His protective nature is not born out of dominance, but out of love, a desire to see you safeguarded from anything that could harm your heart or spirit. At the same time, he recognizes that guarding your soul is not solely about shielding you from external harm. It is also about helping you grow spiritually and emotionally. He encourages you to pursue your dreams, deepen your faith, and become the person you were created to be. He does not stifle your potential or dim your light. Instead, he fosters an environment where your talents and passions can shine. In this way, his protection is not a limitation, but an act of empowerment. He stands beside you as a partner who lifts you up, cheering you on as you navigate the complexities of life. This sacred responsibility also means that he is attentive to your spiritual health. A man who truly loves you will not lead you into paths that compromise your moral or spiritual integrity. He understands that love does not tempt or manipulate, but guides and supports. He seeks to encourage your relationship with God, inspiring you to grow in faith, wisdom, and grace. He does this not through force, but by setting an example, living out the principles of love, humility, and kindness in his own life. In doing so, he strengthens the bond between you and fosters a relationship rooted in mutual respect and shared values. Guarding your soul requires humility. A man who truly loves you does not see himself as your savior or superior. He recognizes his own imperfections and relies on God's guidance to fulfill this role. He understands that the responsibility of guarding your soul is a privilege, not a burden, and he approaches it with reverence and care. He seeks wisdom in how to best support and protect you, knowing that his actions have a profound impact on your well-being. Perhaps most importantly, guarding your soul is an act of selflessness. It requires him to put your needs above his own desires, to prioritize your well-being even when it is inconvenient or challenging. He does not seek to guard your soul for his own benefit, but out of genuine love and commitment. His actions are not driven by obligation, but by a deep desire to honor you and the sacred trust that love entails. In the end, a man who guards your soul as a sacred responsibility shows that his love for you is not superficial or fleeting, but profound and enduring. He recognizes that love is not just about enjoying your presence, but about protecting the essence of who you are. His love provides a foundation of safety, respect, and growth, allowing you to thrive as the person God created you to be. This kind of love is rare and precious, and it reflects the ultimate love of the Creator, who cherishes and guards each soul with infinite care. When a man truly loves you, he does not view the relationship as a static or one-sided arrangement. Instead, he sees it as a dynamic partnership where both individuals are committed to growing together spiritually, emotionally, and even intellectually. He understands that love is not just about companionship, but about mutual transformation, where each person helps the other become the best version of themselves. To grow with you spiritually and emotionally is to engage in a journey that requires humility, intentionality, and perseverance, all rooted in a deep respect for the relationship. Spiritual growth is one of the most profound aspects of love. A man who truly loves you recognizes that your faith and values are not just personal beliefs, but essential elements of who you are. He seeks to honor this by walking alongside you in your spiritual journey, supporting and encouraging your relationship with God. This does not mean he imposes his own beliefs or expects you to conform to his spiritual path. Rather, he seeks to find common ground where your shared faith can flourish. He is willing to pray with you, study scripture together, or engage in meaningful conversations about faith and life. In doing so, he fosters a connection that goes beyond the physical and emotional, rooting your relationship in a higher purpose. Such a growth requires humility, for it means acknowledging that neither of you has all the answers. A man who grows with you spiritually understands that he too is on the journey of faith and self-discovery. He is not afraid to admit his shortcomings or doubts, and he values the opportunity to learn from you as much as he hopes to support your growth. This mutual vulnerability creates a bond of trust and authenticity, where both of you feel safe to explore your beliefs, ask difficult questions, and encourage each other to deepen your relationship with God. Together, you cultivate a partnership that is not only supportive but also transformative, drawing you closer to your shared spiritual goals. Emotional growth is equally vital. A man who loves you deeply recognizes that emotional maturity is not a fixed trait but an ongoing process. He is committed to understanding his own emotions and learning how to express them in healthy, constructive ways. He does not shy away from difficult conversations or conflicts. Instead, he approaches them as opportunities for growth. He is willing to listen to your feelings without judgment, validate your experiences, and work through challenges together. In doing so, he creates an environment of emotional safety where both of you can grow in self-awareness and empathy. Growing emotionally also means being willing to change. A man who truly loves you does not cling to old habits or patterns that hinder the relationship. Instead, he is open to feedback and willing to adapt for the sake of your partnership. This might mean learning to communicate more effectively, practicing patience, or developing greater emotional resilience. He understands that growth is not always comfortable, but he embraces it because he values the relationship more than his own comfort. At the same time, he recognizes that emotional growth is a shared endeavor. He is not only focused on his own development, but also on supporting yours. He celebrates your successes, encourages your aspirations, and offers comfort in times of struggle. He is attentive to your emotional needs and seeks to understand how he can best support you. His love becomes a source of strength and encouragement, helping you to navigate the complexities of life with confidence and hope. The beauty of growing together spiritually and emotionally is that it deepens your connection over time. It fosters a sense of unity and purpose, as both of you strive not only to love each other, but also to grow into people you were created to be. This kind of growth requires effort and intentionality, but it also brings immense rewards. It strengthens your bond, enhances your understanding of each other, and creates a foundation of mutual respect and trust that can weather life's challenges. In growing with you spiritually and emotionally, a man demonstrates that his love is not passive but active. He is not content to remain stagnant or complacent. He is committed to evolving alongside you, constantly learning and striving to become a better partner. His love is not limited to the present, but looks toward the future, envisioning a relationship that continues to flourish and deepen over time. Ultimately, this kind of love reflects a profound truth that growth is an essential part of love itself. To love someone truly is to desire their good, to support their flourishing, and to walk with them on the journey of becoming. A man who grows with you spiritually and emotionally embodies this truth, showing that his love is not only enduring but also transformative. Together, you create a relationship that is not only a source of joy and companionship, but also a powerful force for personal spiritual growth. When a man truly loves you, his love is marked by patience, even in the most challenging moments. This patience is not passive or indifferent. It is active, deliberate, and rooted in a deep commitment to the relationship. It is the kind of love that chooses to endure, to listen, and to stay present even when circumstances test the limits of understanding and endurance. Loving with patience is a reflection of his maturity and the depth of his devotion, showing that his love is not contingent on perfection, but embraces the reality of human imperfection. Patience is often tested when life brings difficulties, misunderstandings, disagreements, or the natural frustrations that arise when two individuals navigate the complexities of a shared life. A man who truly loves you does not shy away from these moments. Instead, he approaches them with a calm and steady resolve, recognizing that love is not about avoiding conflict, but about working through it with grace and compassion. He does not react impulsively or allow anger to dictate his actions. Instead, he chooses to pause, listen, and respond thoughtfully, ensuring that his words and actions are guided by love rather than frustration. This kind of patience requires a profound sense of humility. A man who loves with patience understands that he, too, is imperfect and in need of grace. He does not hold you to an impossible standard or expect you to meet all his needs without fail. Instead, he acknowledges that both of you are works in progress, and he embraces the journey of growth with you. When you stumble or falter, he does not respond with judgment or condemnation, but with understanding and support. His patience is a reminder that love is not a transaction, but a gift of willingness to bear with one another in both strength and weakness. Patience is also reflected in how he responds to your emotions. Life often brings moments of vulnerability, when fear, sadness, or anxiety threaten to overwhelm. A man who loves you truly does not dismiss your feelings or grow impatient with your struggles. Instead, he creates a safe space where you can express yourself without fear of being misunderstood or dismissed. He listens attentively, not with the intent to fix or control, but with the desire to understand and comfort. His patience becomes a source of stability, helping you navigate your emotions with the assurance that you are not alone. At times, patience means waiting for healing, waiting for clarity, or waiting for circumstances to change. A man who loves with patience is willing to wait alongside you, trusting that the journey is as important as the destination. He does not rush you or impose his timeline on your growth or decisions. Instead, he respects your pace and honors the process, knowing that true love cannot be hurried or forced. His willingness to wait is a testament to his faith in the relationship and his belief in the value of the time you spend growing together. Patience also plays a role in how he handles his own expectations and desires. There will be moments when his needs may go unmet or his plans may not align with yours. A man who loves you with patience does not resort to selfishness or resentment in these instances. Instead, he exercises self-control, recognizing that love sometimes requires sacrifice and compromise. His love is not driven by what he can gain, but by what he can give. And his patience allows him to prioritize the well-being of the relationship over his immediate wants. Perhaps most importantly, loving with patience means remaining steadfast even when the path is difficult. Life is full of uncertainties, and relationships inevitably face challenges, whether external pressures, personal trials, or the simple reality of growing together as individuals. A man who truly loves you does not waver in his commitment during these times. His patience anchors the relationship, providing a steady presence that reassures you of his dedication. He is not deterred by obstacles, but embraces them as opportunities to deepen his love and strengthen the bond you share. Loving with patience is not easy. It requires effort, selflessness, and a willingness to endure. But it is in this endurance that love finds its truest expression. A man who loves you with patience demonstrates that his affection is not fleeting or shallow, but rooted in a deep and abiding commitment. His patience reflects the kind of love that is not dependent on circumstances or convenience, but chooses to remain steadfast, even when it is difficult. In the end, loving with patience is an act of profound generosity. It says, I see you in your entirety, your strengths, your flaws, your joys, and your struggles, and I choose to love you still. This kind of love is transformative, creating a relationship built on trust, understanding, and enduring devotion. It is a love that mirrors the divine, steadfast, compassionate, and unfailing. And it is this kind of love that truly stands the test of time, growing stronger through every trial and triumph you face together. True love is not a fleeting emotion or a momentary infatuation. It is a commitment, a choice, and an act of will that endures through the seasons of life. When a man truly loves you, his actions will speak louder than his words. He will love sacrificially, honor you through word and deed, seek to understand your heart, guard your soul, grow with you, and love you patiently, even in the face of trials. Such a love is rare and precious because it reflects the essence of God's own love for us, a love that is selfless, enduring, and transformative. It elevates both the giver and the receiver, shaping them into something greater than they could ever be alone. If you are loved in this way, cherish it and nurture it. And if you are waiting for such love, do not settle for anything less. For in the end, the greatest measure of a man's love is not in what he says, but in how he chooses, daily and unselfishly, to love you as you deserve,